Somewhere in your body right now, there is enough. Not as a consolation, not as the resigned acceptance of someone who has stopped reaching for more, not as the spiritual-sounding version of giving up, but as a genuine, physical, completely available fact about this moment. That right now, in the body you are living in the awareness you are breathing from, in the simple, ordinary, completely extraordinary fact of being here and alive and present, there is enough. There is, in fact, a fullness available in this moment that the mind, in its constant forward motion, almost never stops long enough to feel. And today that changes. Not through effort, not through convincing yourself of something you do not believe, but through the simple, unhurried, genuinely available act of turning attention toward what is already complete, what has always been completed in the life you are already living. This is an invitation into satisfaction, not the satisfaction that comes after, the satisfaction that is already here. Welcome. You have arrived at the end of the search for enough, and you are going to discover in the next few minutes that it was never a search that needed to happen at all. There is a mechanism in the human mind that is extraordinary at one particular thing: finding what is missing. It scans the environment, the circumstances, the relationships, the body, the bank account, the future. And with breathtaking efficiency, it locates everything that is not yet in place, everything that is incomplete, unresolved, not yet arrived, still in progress, still somewhere between here and where it is supposed to be. This mechanism is not a flaw. It is the engine of survival, of growth, of the entire beautiful arc of human striving and building and becoming. Without it, nothing would ever be made or improved or pursued. It is the reason civilizations rise and art gets created and problems get solved. It is extraordinary, and it is completely structurally incapable of resting, because a mechanism built to find what is missing will always find what is missing. Not because what is missing is always significant, not because the gap it identifies is always real or important or worth the attention it is given, but simply because that is what it does. It is a missing finder, and a missing finder, left to run without interruption, will find missing things in the most complete and beautiful and genuinely abundant life that has ever been lived. It will find missing things in this moment that is, right now, completely and entirely and without exception enough. So what would it feel like to turn that mechanism off? Not permanently, not even for long, just for the duration of this video, to allow the scanner to rest, to stop looking for what is not here and simply, directly, with the full quality of your attention, feel what is? What would that feel like? It would feel like satisfaction. And it is available right now. Think about the moments in your life when you felt genuinely, completely, fully satisfied. Not the relief of something ending, not the temporary high of something new arriving. Those are real and beautiful, but they are not what we are looking for. The satisfaction that arrived when something specific happened is always, by definition, tied to that specific thing. And when the thing fades or changes or is followed by the next thing, the satisfaction fades with it. The satisfaction we are exploring today is different. Think instead of those quieter moments, the ones with no obvious reason to feel complete, but in which completeness arrived anyway. A cup of something warm on a cold morning. The particular quality of an afternoon that was going nowhere in particular and was, because of that, somehow exactly right. A conversation that ended without resolution, but left you somehow fuller than when it began. A meal that was nothing special except that you were hungry and it was good, and the people around the table were yours. In those moments, nothing significant was given to you, but everything was present, and the presence of everything. The simple, full, quietly extraordinary presence of just enough of the right things in the right moment. That is satisfaction. That is what we are talking about. And the radical, beautiful, completely liberating truth is this: the conditions for that satisfaction, the underlying quality that made those moments feel complete, were not created by the circumstances. The circumstances simply created a pause long enough for you to feel what was already there. The satisfaction is not in the cup of tea. It is in the awareness holding the cup of tea. It is in you. It is what you are made of when the searching stops. Satisfaction in its deepest form is the feeling of consciousness recognizing that it lacks nothing. Not lacks nothing in the sense that everything it desires has been provided. Lacks nothing in the sense that what it is, right now, as it is, without any additions or improvements or future arrivals, is whole, complete, sufficient, full. There is a particular word in some of the world's oldest languages that points directly at this. The idea of a being or a state that is entirely self-contained, that does not need anything from outside itself to be what it fully is. That is not reaching toward completion because it is already complete. That is the nature of awareness. Your awareness right now is not lacking anything it needs to be aware. It is not reaching toward a future version of itself that will finally be qualified to notice this moment. It is here entirely, receiving everything that is present, missing nothing, leaving nothing out. It is complete. And because you are that awareness, because the deepest, most fundamental, most irreducibly real thing about you is this awareness, this open and effortless and completely present noticing. You are complete. Right now, not approaching completion, not 90% of the way to enough. Complete. And the feeling of that completeness. When the thinking quiets enough for it to be felt rather than analyzed, is satisfaction. Deep, quiet, uncaused, unconditional satisfaction. The kind that belongs to no circumstances and therefore cannot be taken by any circumstances. Yours. Already. Here is something beautiful to consider. Every single thing you have ever pursued, every goal, every relationship, every experience, every acquisition, every version of the future you have worked toward and hoped for, and sometimes lost sleep imagining. All of it, without exception, was pursued because of how you believed it would make you feel. Not for the thing itself, for the feeling the thing would deliver. And the feeling, when you trace it all the way back to its source, when you follow the thread of desire past the surface want and the story behind it and the history that shaped it, the feeling at the center of every single thing you have ever wanted is some version of this. Complete, whole, enough, satisfied. The job was supposed to deliver it. The relationship was supposed to deliver it. The body was supposed to deliver it. The account balance, the recognition, the healing, the arrival, the achievement. All of it pointing at the same destination. The feeling of being enough, of having enough, of this. Right here, right now, exactly as it is. Being enough. Which means that every search you have ever undertaken was a search for what you already are. You were looking for the feeling of completion from inside the completion. You were searching for home from inside the house. And that is not a tragedy. That is the most human, most understandable, most universally shared experience of what it means to be alive and conscious and growing in a world that is always offering more. But it does mean that the arrival is not ahead of you. It is here. It was always here. And feeling it, really feeling it in your body in this moment, does not require a single thing in your life to change. Right now, something very simple is available to you. Not a visualization, not an affirmation, not a technique that requires practice. Just this. Feel the weight of your body wherever it is resting right now. The surface beneath you. The specific, physical, completely real support that is holding you without being asked, without charging anything for it, without conditions. Feel that you are warm enough or cool enough, that the air is available, that your lungs are taking it without effort. Feel that you are here, not here as a concept, here as a physical fact, a body, in a place, at a time, alive, aware, receiving this moment. Now feel into that without adding anything to it, without asking whether this is a good moment or a mediocre one, without comparing it to yesterday or projecting it toward tomorrow, without deciding what it means about your life or your progress or your situation. Just the bare, immediate physical experience of being alive and present right now. Is that okay? Not okay in a resigned way. Okay in an honest way. Okay the way something is okay when you stop arguing with it and simply feel it on its own terms. Because right now, in this moment, stripped of every story, stripped of the gap between where you are and where you think you should be, stripped of the comparison to other lives and other versions of your own life, stripped of every measurement and every judgment. Right now, this is okay. This is, in fact, quietly and completely fine. And fine, really, genuinely, honestly fine, is where satisfaction lives. Not in the extraordinary, not in the peak experiences and the pinnacle moments and the arrivals you are still waiting for. In the fine, in the ordinary, unremarkable, completely sufficient fine of a moment that is exactly what it is, and is, in being exactly what it is, entirely enough. Satisfaction is generous. This is something that changes everything when it is felt rather than just considered. A person who is satisfied is not a person who has stopped growing or stopped caring or stopped being moved by beauty and possibility and the magnificent, ongoing, creative unfolding of a life. Satisfaction is not the end of desire, it is the purification of it. When you are satisfied at the ground level, when the deep, structural, foundational sense of enough is present, the desires that arise from that place are completely different in quality from the desires that arise from lack. Lack desire is anxious. It grips. It has a desperate edge to it, a quality of needing the thing to arrive in order for everything to be okay. Satisfaction desire is free. It reaches towards what is beautiful and good and worth creating, not because everything depends on it, but because reaching is one of the great joys of being alive. Because growth and expression and creation are not remedies for incompleteness. They are the natural overflow of a being that is already full. A full cup, when more is poured in, does not overflow because it was empty. It overflows because it is full. And from fullness, the overflow is not desperate. It is generous. It is creative. It is the most natural and joyful and effortless thing in the world. That is what your life looks like when satisfaction is the ground you are standing on. Not passive, not static, not resigned. Generous, creative, completely alive. Moving toward everything beautiful, not because you need it to feel whole, but because you are already whole, and wholeness, by its nature, moves toward beauty. This community, everyone gathered around this particular frequency, is full of people who are learning to feel this, who are in the process of making the shift from searching to arriving, from reaching for enough to recognizing the enough that was already here. And that process, that beautiful, completely individual, impossible to rush, and impossible to stop process, is worth celebrating together. In the comments below this video, I want to genuinely invite you to share what satisfaction feels like for you right now. Not the version you are working toward, the version that is available today. The small, real, honest, completely valid form of satisfaction that is present in your life in this moment. Name it. Offer it. Let it be seen. Because naming what is good, pointing attention deliberately toward what is already whole, is not a spiritual practice that requires a cushion and a particular time of day. It is the most direct, immediate, completely available act of transformation there is. And if this channel feels like a place where you want to return, where this quality of remembering is something you want woven into the rhythm of your ordinary days, then subscribing is a deeply satisfying act in and of itself. A small, complete, entirely self-honoring gesture that says, I choose this frequency. I choose to return to this. I choose regularly and without drama to be reminded that I am already enough. That choice is yours, and it is already the right one. So here is where we arrive. Satisfaction is not waiting at the end of anything. It is not held in the future by the achievement that has not yet occurred, the recognition that has not yet arrived, the version of life that has not yet assembled itself into the shape you once decided would finally be enough. It is here, in the body that is breathing, in the awareness that is present, in the extraordinary, mundane, completely sufficient miracle of this moment, which is not a pale version of some better moment elsewhere, but is the only moment that exists, the only moment that has ever existed, the only place that life has ever actually been happening. And in this moment, in the specific, unrepeatable, quietly extraordinary convergence of you and now, there is enough. There is, in fact, more than enough. There is everything. Everything that the search was always looking for. Everything that the striving was always pointed toward. Everything that you have always, in your most honest and quiet and unguarded moments, known was already here. You do not have to earn it. You do not have to wait for it. You do not have to become anything more than what you already are. You simply have to feel it, right now, in this breath, in this body, in this moment that is already, completely and without exception, enough. You were never missing anything. You were always already full.